That there were so many pressures on you and so many demands upon you that you did not feel like you were living really alive. Well, sisters and brothers, if you haven't experienced that yet, if you hang around long enough, you're likely to feel like you're moving around by rote, automatic, feeling like you're an automaton, a machine that is going from one task to the next, but not really feeling alive. Well, I offer to you that just as in the garden, the thing that made the difference between Ha-Adam and Nefesh was the very Spirit of God. And so, the writer of this epistle is urging us to realize that by the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, it is like moving from that first experience of creation, where we're Ha-Adam, to the very breath of God, the breath that is a resurrecting breath. See, the first breath was just about creating us and forming us into a living being, but the second breath, see, this is what I love about Jesus. See, one of the questions I was asking the kids, what does Jesus teach me about God? Here's one of the things I think Jesus teaches. No matter what your circumstance, no matter how bleak it may look, no matter how long it has felt that you have just been one of the mummies in the night of the living dead, that wrapped up in the body of Jesus Christ is the manifestation of God's ability to restore that which was dead to life. I'm excited about that. You're sitting there. Maybe you didn't get that yet. Uh-oh, I got one. I am so excited every time I think about Jesus. Because when I think about Jesus, no matter the circumstances in my life, I know that God has the power to resurrect. And so he writes that by the mercy of God, manifested in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, that we are given new birth into a living hope and into an inheritance that is imperishable. Now, just in case you don't know, imperishable, that means it's living and it will never die. I want to make sure you get that. So what is this inheritance? And what is this hope? The inheritance of Jesus Christ, which is our hope, is our oneness with God. And so there are some things that are helpful to us to really activate it, because sometimes we can have the inheritance, but we might not know we have it, or we might have it, but we don't know how to use it. And so I want to share just a few things from this text that we read together that are instructions from the writer of this letter to help us activate our new birth or our rebirth into living hope and into imperishable inheritance. One, and this is still in chapter 1. This is not what we read yet. I'm going to get to that part. But one, he says, prepare your minds for action and discipline yourself. Some of us can want things and say, well, God, you know, I really want to have a close relationship with you. Prepare yourself for it. When we are ready to do something, we don't just walk around and we don't just think the same ways we've been walking and thinking. We start, then here's how I'm going to, oh my goodness, I know we have to meet. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Set your hope on what will be revealed through Jesus. Instead of keeping your hope focused on what you think you have the ability to accomplish in your own life, hope is not tied up and wrapped up in you. God's resources did not begin or end with you. But for you to have hope that is set on what will be revealed through Jesus. Then he says, change your focus from the desires that directed your life choices in the past. Some of us say we want something different, and yet we keep desiring and focusing our desires on things that have led us to places in our lives that have not brought fulfillment or joy. So change your focus. Then he says, follow the demands of truth. Jesus said to his disciples, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Some of us have been believing lies in our lives for so long, till even though we know they're lies, we are scared to let the lie go. But Jesus says the truth will set you free. And then he continues, trust God. Set your faith and your hope in God. And I know sometimes that's a scary one. God ever led you somewhere and you say, oh, no, God, I can't see my way. So, God, when you show me the whole plan, then I will come. And the writer is urging us, trust God. Now, don't just have it on your U.S. currency, but have it in your life practice. Then number 6, he says, love one another deeply from the heart. And of course, loving deeply from the heart, those are nice and pretty words to say. And as God always does, brings people into our lives who help us learn to do that. The thing is for us not to run away from them when they come. And then beginning in our text in chapter 2, he says, rid yourselves of malice, guile, insincerity, envy, and slander. Or as young people might say today, don't be a player hater. Sometimes we try to put people down because they have something that we wish we could have, which we really could have if we just focused ourselves to have it. But most of us rather have malice and guile. That means when you look down with disdain at someone else. Or insincerity, you say, oh, hi, you look lovely, and you know you don't mean it in your heart. And then number 8, he says, come into a relationship with Jesus, and here's the word, and allow yourself to be built. Many of us like to think that because we're successful in other areas of our lives, and we might be very successful in our work or in our parenting or whatever it may be, we don't want to be built when we come to church. We want church to be comfortable for us. Oh no, I must be talking to the people of the First Presbyterian Church. Maybe those folk